Kiliminjaro Safari's an animal kingdom is a stunning attraction that takes you through nature. But what do certain guests do when nature calls on this attraction? Well, let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Vash, this is a crazy, ridiculous story that's proof of why we can't have nice things.
Yes. Sorry, that intro. It's perfect.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. Saw this morning right before the earnings call, and it was like, whoa, what is going on here? Out of all the attractions to actually leave your red vehicle in.
Out of all the attractions, it's the one where a rhinoceros might bum rush you.
I just can't believe it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me get off to go urinate in a bush in an attraction where an ostrich might jump out and kick my head off.
That's so crazy.
It's the one attraction where like there's dangerous animals around. Like, yes, the lions are separated from you, obviously, but like the rhinos are not.
No. There are a lot of animals that can't be territorial, that are out there that maybe
they don't want you getting out of that car. Yeah.
Absolutely. They may not pose an intense threat, at least initially, when you have a safari going through. But man, when you separate yourself from that vehicle, who knows what happens?
So this is a guest. This is from www.magic.com. A guest at Disney's Animal Kingdom caused a disruption on Kilimanjaro safaris after jumping out of the safari truck to relieve himself in the bushes in full view of other guests on the ride. So not only are we disrupting an attraction, getting out into a dangerous situation, you're exposing yourself in front of guests that include children. So include
your own children, by the way, because unfortunately, when you see the video, his children are looking on like, what is that doing?
Yep. Video posted to TikTok by at It's EdWinLV shows the moment the guest leaps from the vehicle and heads to the roadside vegetation. The truck is stopped for the duration with a second safari vehicle visible in the background, held up and waiting. After finishing, the guest returns to the truck and climbs back over the side to rejoin his family, who had remained on board and were probably mortified. The video ends there, so it's unclear what happened next or how Disney cast members responded. I bet you I could take a guess. All right, so let's take a look, Vash. There he goes.
Oh, man.
Well, now, I'm trying to figure out what part this is on. This is in the savannah, I think.
Yes, it is in the savannah.
So like there's giraffes wandering around and wildebeest and stuff.
Yes. This is.
Oh, that kid.
Of all the places to do this, I mean, I don't know what one is preferable, at least with this attraction. But come on.
What did this guy drink a gallon of water? He's still going.
He's gonna get kicked out.
I was speculating on how this could actually happen, right? You get into maybe an hour queue, maybe before everything's all good, right? Then maybe the. Oh, go ahead, please.
I was just saying, how is this taking so long? Is he gun shy, or like, did he just really have to go? Didn't even go, and now you're getting back on without washing your hands.
What? What is it gonna do? Use the leaves, Marvin? That's the only thing that could have happened in this case.
Clearly, the driver has called him over and is like, "Yeah, no, you cannot be doing this."
No,
I'm shocked the driver was not on the loudspeaker, being like, "Get back in this truck." This is Kilimanjaro Safaris. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm guessing he was probably calling in something, calling into station like, hey, we got a problem here. So that may have taken up a little bit of his time and communication power. Go ahead.
So this says it's not clear if the guest received any consequences, such as being removed from the park. I would have to hope, Vash, that in a situation like this, you are not only kicked out of the park and trespassed for life, but you're probably getting arrested for public urination and indecent exposure in front of minors.
I would assume so. I mean, that's basically consistent with, I believe, Florida law, as is kind of the law of the land anywhere you go.
Yeah, you are not allowed to you're not allowed to just whip it out anywhere you want, guys. Like,
and to Marvin's point, right? You have additional issues when it comes to children. Like, for example, if you publicly do this, that's one thing, but if you publicly do this by a school, that's a whole other thing, right? In a lot of districts, you catch some pretty serious charges in relation to that. So I would believe that, I mean, there's multiple violations here, right? You're trespassing, that's one. Two, it's public indecency, right? 3 in front of minors, 4. I mean, you just add on the list, Marvin. There are multiple implications here that even outside of what Disney actually does, well, law enforcement could charge them separately.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, this is at the very least a lifelong trespass from the parks, because you've now gotten off of an attraction. If you get off of an attraction on any attraction like this and go into a place where you're not allowed to go, that's a trespass. They are more, and they're
Absolutely.
more liberal with the trespasses now than they used to be. The ban hammer drops very easily now in Disney.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the swatting incident with Oblivion, for example, right? I mean, he was swatted, and yet he was the one trespassed ultimately in that exchange between him and Tina, or whoever the security guard was in that instance. Anyway, look, I mean, they have to set examples, right? Especially in the social media era. You can't have this be a trend. You can't have people believe that these attractions like Kilimanjaro Safaris, for instance, is an attraction where you just hop off. So they have to make examples. So, yeah, I mean, what other choice do they have?
Of all the attractions and of all the places in which you could hop off, you're on
Crazy.
the savannah where animals are just wandering.
It is absolutely stunning, Marvin. There's no way.
And you're urinating, which causes a smell that, guess what that attracts? Animals.
Yes, it does, and you know, well, I mean, there are delicate ecosystems as well, and you know, there are some plants that are sensitive to stuff like that. Look, there's just a whole laundry list of reasons why not to do this. I mean, this attraction, it is crazy, like you said, Marvin. Animals everywhere. I mean, there are gators, hippos, lions, all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, some things are separated, but you know, not always. And like I said before, some animals are territorial, and some animals, you know, they might be passive as you pass by them, but you encroach their territories, now you get into some real danger. So,
dude, you are a grown man. Hold it. Hold it for another 10 minutes, dude. Like, why? Why would you feel the need to jump off of an attraction in the middle of an area full of wild animals because you have to be like, what kind of immature nonsense is that? Like, at the end of the day, like, if it was like, if you were like backed up and you know, like you were sitting there for hours or whatever, like, even then it's not acceptable. But just like you're not a child, you're a grown man. Hold it and then go when you get out. There's restrooms everywhere.
right.
Like, that's what, like, so one time I'll tell you a personal story here. I was in Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. It's about 10 years ago. I'm eating I'm sitting there on a bench eating my frushi. I'm next to a big bush. This drunk guy stumbles up, and I kid you not, Vash, exposes himself and urinates in a bush right by me.
Oh no.
And as everyone's like running away from him, right? And Disney security does nothing. Nobody sees him. And then he when it's done, he just stumbles away. And I'm like, there's a bathroom right there. Like, go up the steps or cross into the US right there, and you've got a bathroom. Go back into Morocco, and you've got a bathroom right there. I mean, like, it was absolutely infuriating that somebody did that. And it's like, you're in a theme park full of children, and you're exposing yourself. Like, that should, like, not only should you be kicked out, you should be arrested, you should be hit for indecent exposure, and you should be put on a list.
I do agree. In that instance, there's no, like, even in this instance, I'll say, look, if maybe here's a diabetic, right, in which he had maybe an emergency and just couldn't actually predict it beforehand, got himself locked into a queue, and these things happen, right? But in your instance, Marvin, if there's a restroom right there, there is absolutely no excuse, and so I do think the penalty should be representative of that. I mean, maybe this guy can work up an excuse in order to alleviate his charges or burdens or trespass or whatever. I just don't believe that's going to necessarily be the case here.
Yeah. So do we know yet? Like, if this guy had any like, if anything happened with this guy? Like, have they said what happened with
I've been looking for updates on this story here on the various websites. I have not seen anything reflecting him actually, getting trespassed or any issues there. But I will go ahead and keep my ears to the grindstone here and just kind of see whether or not something does happen, because I wouldn't be surprised if Disney actually uses this as an example to say, hey, no getting off our attractions, this person was trespassed, this person had been turned over to the authorities, in order to mitigate these things from happening. When you see something viral on TikTok, quickly it becomes a trend and quickly it becomes a real big problem. So I think they want to stamp this out very quickly.
So WWNT has isolated some of the quotes from the video. So the child of the man who jumped out could be heard saying, "Daddy, hurry up, they're waiting for you." When the guest is done, he runs back to the truck saying, "I'm super sorry, I had to." He starts to climb back into his seat, but the cast member driving the truck says, "Don't climb back up there, come over here." As he climbs along the side of the truck to the cab, he repeats, "I had to." The video cuts off at this point, but as one guest in the truck said, it was like this. It was likely this guest was kicked out of the park and banned from Walt Disney World property. Thankfully, no animals were in the area. The safari's carnivores are kept separate from the trucks with various hidden barriers. It would be impossible for guests to get near them. But herbivores like giraffes and zebras can walk right up to vehicles. Although they aren't man-eaters, these animals can still be dangerous, particularly if frightened. 100%.
Correct.
And they're in that area. So, here's the guy. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. Like, control yourself. You're in public. Like, just act like an adult, for the love of God.
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
All right, guys. Look, at the end of the day, the moral of the story here is when you gotta go, you gotta go, but sometimes just hold it and don't be gross.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.